Is there a worse way to lose than on a Hail Mary? There are no words. Frustrated, mind-boggled, disappointed, gut-wrenching. There are no words to describe how Jack and I are feeling this morning after the Bears drop a heartbreaker in D.C. The Hail Mary misery is what I'm calling it, dropping 18-15 to the Washington Commanders. This is the Bear Necessities Podcast. I'm John Prisnowski, joined as always by my companion, my BFF, my compadre, my podcast co-host, Jack Lomax. Dude, what the fuck happened? What happened? I'm at a loss.
I think our immediate reaction right after that game, I think I started blowing your phone up, and I think you had the perfect reaction. Nothing. I mean, numbness. Like, I have no words to describe how, in that moment in time, I was disappointed. I was fucking pissed. I was going through all the stages of fucking grief, blame, like, oh, you name it. I felt it in that first minute after that game. That was, I don't know. Frustrations.
Where does this rank on the Bears' all-time losses? To me, I don't think this is quite up there with, NFC Championship game, losing to Green Bay. But this is, in my opinion, probably one of the most heart-wrenching defeats since, the double doink. Just because the magnitude of this game, where we saw ourselves in the schedule going up against a pretty good Washington team. We were going to get this rookie-on-rookie great battle. And what happens? Off of a bye, this Bears team comes out flat. And I don't know how many more times I need to talk about and reference it. This coaching staff is failing this team. It is unacceptable to come off of a bye flat, disinterested, no game plan. That was a shit effort through 3.5 quarters.
Momentum was gone.
Who does that fall on? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sick and tired of having nice guys as head coach. Matt Eberflus, ladies and gentlemen, is 3-17 as Bears head coach, coaching on the road. Do you want me to list the names of quarterbacks we've beaten under Matt Eberflus on the road? Get ready for this. Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, and Josh Dobbs. That's Matt Eberflus's 27th loss in 41 games as Bears head coach. Unacceptable. Like, unacceptable. I'm done. Like, literally, I'm done. I'm sorry. You can call the best defensive game plan you want, but when the game's on the line like it was yesterday, and we give a free 13, 15-yard play to Terry McLaurin to set the Commanders up for a potential Hail Mary game winner.
That was 100% a free play.
It was a free play, and Eberflus is still defending it this morning, saying that it didn't matter. He was quoted saying that play didn't matter. All that matters was the last play. Like, in what world
How the fuck do you get into that play to make that play?
In what world does that play not matter? I can't, man. I can't.
Did you watch the post-game conference?
A little bit.
No?
A little bit. And then I had to turn my brain off and go outside and take the dog out and blow off some steam, play some Call of Duty, anything to just not think about football the rest of the night. Like, that's how fumed I was. I still am fumed, if you can't tell.
Yeah. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that play, right? Because we could talk about the game. We've got enough to break down in the game. But that play, what went through our minds, that play? I remember we had that conversation. We just got the lead, Roshan Johnson. I mean, we'll even come back to the Doug Kramer thing. That's a lot to unpack there.
That's a whole other topic.
Roshan Johnson gets a touchdown. Sweet. You sent me a text. Like, this is a team game win, right? This is a team win. This is top to bottom Bears. They've managed to come out and they've got the win. And what did I text you back? I think I text you, we ain't saying shit until the clock is 0. And I think we agreed on that. We're like, no, that's it. That's true. When we were talking about it for that entire fourth quarter, what we were doing. We were stood up, right? All these superstitions. We'll have to talk about our superstitions in a bit. Yeah. But it was like, First play, short pass. I'm like, let's fucking go. Short pass. That bounced off. Yeah, you can't throw a shit, Jaden, with your shitty ass fucking ribs. All right, next play. They get it. Next play after, the 3-1 to Terry McLaurin. Next one after, the fucking Hail Mary. We break down that play. First off, my big grievance, the hold. I know everyone is saying to me, I've been talking to people after the game, you'll never get a hold call on a Hail Mary. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
It was blatantly obvious.
A hold call is a hold call.
Both Jacob Martin and DeMarcus Walker both were blatantly held on that last play. And I'm not saying that it was going to dictate anything off of what was going to eventually happen on that play. But, like, if you want to call holding when it's obvious, there was an obvious hold on both guys.
It changes the game. It changes the play because you throw a flag and how many yards back, and now you've got to do that entire play again. And he hasn't got that arm strength to make it. He barely made it as it was. All right, and that completely changes the next play. That was bullshit. And Clay Blakeman, if you ever step in Chicago, I'm coming for you, you little fucker, because that was bang out of order, and you were stood right in front of it. Like, at that point in time, you were public enemy number one in Chicago, and if I had a choice of throat punching you or one of the most hated men in the world, like, you name it, list it. Hitler, Bin Laden, whatever you want to call it. I'd throat punch you bastard.
Give Cleet Blakeman a nice little judo chop to the juggler, right?
But just gone for him.
But going back to my question really quick, because we can talk about the Hail Mary play all you want. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of watching it. I've seen it 100 times now. Like, I'm fucking done. I'm over it. Where does this rank on, like, one of the most gut wrenching Bears losses of all time? In recent memory, I should say. It's up there.
You said it perfectly. I've been here, like, I've been in America like 10 to 15 years. I can't remember exactly, but I was here for the NFC Championship one. I've been here for the double doink, and the difference in all these heart wrenching games is the promise of this game. The promise of this team, you said it absolutely perfectly, John. The promise of this team and how we were shaping and how that run was going and how Caleb's finally putting up the numbers and the offensive line is holding and the defense is fucking awesome. And then to come up short like that and, like you said, flat. I love how you said that. We came out flat. We came out coached flat. We came out offensively flat. Caleb Williams, love the guy. He is our future. He was skittish in that pocket. His reads were bad. His throws were bad. Like, he was getting rid of the ball far, like, more skittish than he should have been. Top three without a doubt.
There's no doubt in my mind there were some type of jitters with Caleb to start the game. Going back home to D.C., probably playing in front of multiple family members there.
Yeah.
Grew up a Redskins fan when they were the Redskins before they were their Commanders. It was not a great game by Caleb at all, and I'll tip my cap to Jaden Daniels for being the better rookie quarterback yesterday.
Yes,
Sure, you won it. Cool. The Bears defense still held Jaden in check for no offensive touchdowns. Yeah, he threw for over 300 yards, but they didn't score a touchdown to the last second of the game.
And I don't care that people are saying, like, it was his rib hurt. His rib hurt. If his rib hurt, he wouldn't have been playing in the fucking game. He played the game.
I'm sure they injected him with something very, very strong. So
he was fine.
Again, what's really driving me up a wall this morning isn't necessarily the Hail Mary. I don't blame Eberflus for the Hail Mary, Jack. That's a player error. I blame him for the team, again, coming off flat off of a bye week. I blame him for not keeping up after two huge wins. The Bears won 3 in a row, right? But the last 2 wins were convincing, dominating wins. We finally have momentum on our side, right? Like, we finally feel good about ourselves. We're 4-2. When things are looking up, the Bears play one of these games and remind you that they're still the Bears. And that, I think, hurts us the most on mornings like this. When, we finally get some momentum, some good feeling.
Some promise.
Some promise.
Yeah.
some optimism, our hearts literally get ripped out of our chest again, and remind everybody that, hey, you guys are still Bears fans. Like it's always tough sledding.
Still the Bears, yeah.
We're still the Bears, yeah. And we'll talk about Tyreek Stevenson in just a second, because not only was the coaching staff unacceptable, but his behavior was unacceptable. All game.
And on the last play,
if I'm a defensive coach for the Bears, Stevenson's getting benched for the first quarter in Arizona this upcoming week. You need to send a message.
Healthy scratch. Healthy scratch the entire game. Bang out of order.
It was. You want to talk about undisciplined behavior? Like Stevenson literally poking another offensive lineman through his face mask in front of the ref. In front of the ref, he gets burned by Terry McLaurin in the first half, like on a pretty bad play. And I understand if you're the opposing quarterback, you're not throwing at Jalen Johnson all game. So of course 29 is going to get some action. Like Stevenson is supposed to get looks, because quarterbacks are not going to throw on Jalen Johnson. He's one of the best corners in the league. We all know that. But like 29 had a rough game, and he didn't make it any easier on himself based on his behavior and his actions. And the viral video that has gone all over the internet last night, it's circulating, and it's circulating even more this morning. And of course, he came out with some bullshit apology, which I'm sorry, like I needed to hear more than that. Yeah, I needed to hear more than that he'll be better. Like, dude, young man, you need to be a little bit more than better than that.
What is he? Year 2? Is he year 2, right?
This is year 2. But on the last play of the game, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You should be focused. Yes.
The Washington fans are pointing to him to, hey, you probably should cover somebody, while Noah Brown is finding, a little niche in the end zone to potentially catch a ball. I don't know if the last play is on Stevenson. I don't know if the last play is on Eberflus. What I know is, again, under the bright lights in the most pivotal moment of a game, the Bears weren't ready to meet those expectations. The Bears beat down on bad teams, and then they fail to rise up to the occasion against good teams. And don't let it distract you guys. Like, the Bears spent all afternoon yesterday losing that fucking game. Like they did not deserve that win. And I'm okay with saying that. They didn't deserve that win. But to lose in the way that they lost, I think is what's probably most frustrating, because that was just such a Bears loss. There was no other explanation other than that was such a Bears loss. And only the Bears can find a way to lose a game like that in that fashion.
I would say it's going to be not my argument, but this is going to be these are my thoughts. For the first 3 quarters, we did not deserve to win that game.
Absolutely not.
We stayed in it because of our defense. And the grit of our defense, and even our special teams, Torrey Taylor, phenomenal game. We, in 3 quarters, did not deserve that win. In that last quarter, and then you look at the stat lines for those first 3 quarters, John, fuck me. Like, it was painful. But then that fourth quarter...
I think Caleb had 4 completions going into the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. It was
he had
bad.
Like 30 yards, I think the commentator said. Like
36 yards, something like that. 4 completions, 36 yards. So it was awful. Yeah.
And then he tripled it in the last quarter. That last quarter, this is what pisses me off, and this is kind of what you're kind of alluding to as well. The Chicago Bears hope. We stayed in that game, in a game that we shouldn't have been staying in, realistically. And then we got in front, and we're like, "Fuck me, we don't deserve this." Yep. But man, it feels great, and we had that hope. 23 seconds, we had that fucking hope, and then for it all to fall onto our defense, who have been phenomenal all game. And we're looking at it like, we're going to do this. And just for stupid fucking mistakes and stupid coaching errors and stupid referee and stupid Tyreek Stevenson, am I going to forgive him in a couple of days? Sure. But right now, I am pissed. I am pissed that your focus was on the fucking Washington fans instead of turning your ass around on a last play and looking at the fucking quarterback and saying, all right, what is he going to do? In the commentary after, we had fucking... I'm going to be effing and jeffing today. I'm getting riled again. I'm getting riled. I'm sat here looking at Matt Eberflus, and we've said this before. I've always defended him. I was pissed. He was Mr. Nice Man. He was like, I've got to look at the play. I've got to look at the play. No, you need to drag your player through the muck in front of everyone because he needs to know that he fucked up. And when you watch that play from that viral video, he ran in and he got the tip. You know, they were talking about this. It's a basketball play. You're going to do the rim protector, the person that comes down for the rebound, blah, blah, blah. He was the one that had come across and tipped it. And Kevin Bayard, I never pronounce his name right. I think he was the one that was supposed to be sat on Noah Brown, and he'd gone in, and he lost his man. But it doesn't matter because there was so much that went into it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who was supposed to be guarding who. I know there's some confusion on like why was T.J. Edwards spying Jaden Daniels? You could have dropped him in. You should have dropped him into coverage. Just the whole sequence is it's a fluke play. There is, I don't know about you, there is no worse play to lose on than a Hail Mary because the chances of you losing on a Hail Mary, I just literally what are the chances? The Bears' fourth quarter win probability. The Bears' win probability in the fourth quarter at one point yesterday was 96.4, and they somehow lost it. We've gone 16 minutes without talking about Shane Waldron and his accountability in this mess, in this fucking mess that was yesterday. You know, I really thought he took the cake when we did the quarterback option pitch out on the goal line in Indianapolis, and we're only through 7 games, 8 games, something like that through these last couple weeks, and he found another way to just blow my mind. You want to give, and I'm not saying that this cost the Bears the game because it didn't, but I can't get over it. I literally cannot get over the decision to hand the ball off, Jack, to a backup offensive lineman in one of the most pivotal moments of the game. What the fuck are we doing? That is coaching malpractice at its finest. Nothing against Doug Kramer. Like, nothing against Doug Kramer. But in what world, in what reality do you guys live in where you would hand the ball off to your backup offensive lineman on the goal line to get 1 yard when you have Roshan Johnson, you have DeAndre Swift? Shit, give it to Cole Kmet for all I care. Why are you giving the ball to 68? The fullback who, I'm sorry, the Bears cut their previous fullback on Saturday, Kari Blasingame. You could have gave the ball to him in that moment, but clearly, for some reason, Doug Kramer decided to get the handoff. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Shane Waldron?
I need to see who's fucking...
The personnel decisions. Also, like, we finally have multiple games getting 85 involved. Cole Kmet has had a nice little rhythm the last couple of games with Caleb Williams. So, naturally, Shane Waldron decides to get Gerald Everett more involved this week instead of 85. Like, literally, what are we doing? What are we doing? The doghouse that Velus Jones... got to hang out in, for the majority of this season, has a new home for Tyreek Stevenson and Waldron. Both of them can go in there right now. I'm good with that. Both of them can share that domicile. I
want to see. I'd love to hear his thoughts. I'd love to hear his thoughts watching that play and being like, "You absolute fucking idiots." He would be.
Luke Getsy wouldn't even have the balls to do that. like Luke Getsy wouldn't even do that. He wouldn't do that.
Don't you bring that fraud into this conversation?
Dude,
I know we're down bad, but keep that fraud out of this conversation.
But I mean, seriously, in what world? This isn't Pee Wee football. Like, we're not the Kansas City Chiefs. This isn't Super Bowl 20 where the Bears are up 36-3 and you hand the ball off to William Refrigerator Perry. That, like, in that moment, that is not the time to do that. So when they did that, I literally was like, is this real life? What are we doing? Is this real life? I can't get over it. I honestly am more upset about that play than the Hail Mary.
Yes.
Because again, I
that
keep
was a
saying
Chicago
it.
play.
What are we doing? In what world is that acceptable? And to make matters worse, Matt Eberflus is continuing to stand by the call. He's quoted saying, "We've practiced that play a lot. It's a 1 yard play. We felt that the big guy like that could take a dive and could do that."
He could. Do you know what? He can. He can.
But not in that fucking moment. Make it make sense. It's a problem, Jack, when our 22-year-old rookie quarterback goes up to the podium and has more accountability than our head coach in his third year. Like, dude, I'm done, man.
No,
like,
we've said this. I said this to you yesterday.
Done.
I said this
I'm
to you
done having
yesterday.
these nice guys as head coach. I'm fucking done, dude.
We had this conversation yesterday. It was either you or I said it to someone else. I can't remember. But my statement was, in this moment in time, yes, I love Flus and I love his defense. I love it. And it worries me that we'll lose him when we lose him, because at this point I feel like it is a when. When we lose
it's inevitable.
How's that defense gonna react? How's that defense? Is it gonna elevate? Or are we gonna fall back again? But if you told me, Jack, you can have Ben Johnson in one of the most electric offenses right now, or you can have Flus next season, it's a no-brainer. And I love Flus. I will die on that hill. I've always said to you, I'm a big Flus guy. I would take Ben Johnson in a heartbeat, and it's not a knee-jerk reaction. It is
Ben
a sit down and say,
Ben Johnson, Bobby Slowick, insert Robert Saleh as our defense coordinator. Literally, dude, anything. Like we need a head coach that elevates the whole fucking team, not just one side of the ball. What does Eberflus provide for the offense? And I think that's what's going to continue to keep me up at night, and a lot of other Bears fans, is this rinse and repeat cycle that, like, clearly these big games, and we have a lot of big games coming up on our schedule.
Yep.
I mean, yesterday was one of those pivotal moments where the Bears win that game. Like, we're legit in the hunt, legit playoff contention, and now like we're just maybe scratching the surface, and we have our work cut out ahead of us because of how we lost that game. And
it's even worse. The Lions broke away and the Packers broke away. The Vikings are falling down, and we're still within Viking distance. But in the NFC North,
we have no chance. We have no chance against Detroit the way we played yesterday. We have no chance against Green Bay the way we played yesterday. Minnesota, maybe we have a chance to split the series here or there. I think they scare me. I think they scare me the least.
So.
But Brian Flores has done a great job with that defensive side of the ball. He's going to give Caleb Williams. He's going to give Caleb Williams fits.
He's been blitzing. He's been all over every single quarterback that's been that they've played against, and that's with competent offensive lines that they've gone against. I am going to bash coaching decision right now. It's something I didn't think I was going to do. Our rookie Kieran
Amagaji, Hinsdale's finest. And, maybe he wasn't, obviously, no. I don't think he was ready to be inserted into the game when Braxton Jones went down. And there was at one point last night, there was a point where 3 backup offensive linemen were playing for the Bears. Amagaji, Bill Murray, and Matt Pryor were all in the game. And I'm sorry, in what world why are we not splitting Matt Pryor out to tackle, and then you bring Murray in and then Amagaji in? Like what? Like left tackle is the most important position on the line outside of center, and you're going to put your rookie tackle, like your 4th, 5th round pick or 3rd round pick, whatever he was, out there.
He did okay, but
I don't know about that
moment. It was just
the only play that 72 flashed for me was the 56-yard run by DeAndre Swift. And I will say, one good that came out of the game, DeAndre Swift had a game. He had a game. 18 carries, 129 yards, 1 touchdown, that 56-yard touchdown run. Again, the defense did play good until the last, 30 seconds of the game. 13 consecutive games that this defense has held opponents to under 21 points. It's still the longest active streak in the NFL, and the Bears still found a way to lose. And they still found a way to lose. Still found a way to lose. And also, it's so Bears. It's so Bears. And Torrey Taylor had himself a hell of a game. Shout out to our punter.
Oh my God! Just pinning him back there, and just like yes.
I don't agree with the. You thought Amagaji played well. He looked out. He looked outmatched.
I said okay. He had some okay plays.
There's a couple plays where he didn't block anybody. Where he didn't. He literally did not touch the defensive end, and literally, the defensive end is like literally just running to kill Caleb. He just doesn't touch anybody.
On the what pass was it? There was the pass in the fourth quarter, and he got absolutely laced, and there was definitely a missed assignment there.
Somehow Caleb only was sacked twice yesterday, which blows my mind. It seems like he was sacked a million times. I mean, he was running for his life. This offensive line is literally failing Caleb on multiple drives. You know what I want for Christmas, Jack? All I want for Christmas is a clean pocket. Just like Jane Daniels got yesterday. That's what I want for Christmas. That's what I want for Hanukkah this year.
God.
At what point? I mean, it's not even at what point. I don't know how we're not driving this home. Ryan Poles deserves so much blame for this offensive line and this coaching staff being where it is. We can be fond of the guy at the top. We can say how much he's changed this culture, how he's brought so much talent to this roster, but it is so evidently glaring that it's going to be hard for 18 to develop any type of rhythm or consistency when there's not good enough protection up front. And coming from a former offensive lineman himself, I don't understand what he sees that we're not seeing.
Do you know what?
Up front is unacceptable. It is unacceptable.
This is me overthinking it, but the way I think about him when he's making these offensive line decisions, John, is he keeping, again, reading way into this, is he keeping these people that are these offensive linemen that are performing below average on a roster because he knows how it felt to get cut as an offensive lineman? It just sits with me. It sits with me. Like, I don't really want to cut him because I sign someone, trade for someone, something.
I think, and this is hard for me to speak on because I'm not Ryan Poles. I don't know how he speaks or evaluates talent, but I think it's hard to base offensive linemen on their potential in a couple of games, in a couple of weeks, maybe next season, he'll be fully healthy. The potential, the drive, the motor, his body, his physicality will be there. Offensive line, you're either good or you're bad. There is no potentially he'll get better next year as he continues to develop. No. We have a rookie quarterback. You need to put the best front five out there now, not yesterday, not in a couple weeks. Now,
and
now we need the best front five out there, and we haven't done that all fucking year. It's literally mind-boggling how Ryan Poles has shaped this roster, brought in so much talent compared to when he got it, but has just settled on potential, has settled on mediocrity, has settled on averageness from the front five when the most important position in all of football is a fucking 22-year-old rookie who needs to develop and who needs to advance his career
right
to where we want it to be, to where we all want him to be, and he's never going to get there. He's never going to get there because he's constantly worrying about pressure. All I want for Christmas is a clean pocket for 18. That's all I want.
I'm going to ask you this. I would say there are two types of teams in the NFL, right? There's a win now team. You've got the roster to win now, and then there's a we are developing or we are in a rebuild. I would say the way the Bears roster is right now, we are supposed to be leaning towards win now. Yes, we have a rookie quarterback. I don't give a shit. He was the number one pick. It is a win now roster. And for you to put a mediocre offensive line, yes, they've performed well in the last 2 games prior. I don't care. It needs consistency. It needs 17 weeks, not fucking 2 out of 8. To put have a win now team and have that mediocre offense protecting, 18. That does it falls on Paul, and I love Pauls, and I think he's done a phenomenal job for the entire. You look at the big picture. Yes, he's done a phenomenal job, but realistically, if you can't protect your quarterback, what's the point? We may as well be.
There are plenty of things that Pauls has swung and missed on, and his first offensive draft pick he just cut on Saturday in Velus Jones Jr. I mean, people are going to forget about that. The Velus Jones Jr. experience is over. The Nate Davis experience is over. The Chase Claypool thing fizzled out more quickly than I think any of us envisioned. So there are plenty of things that the general manager has missed on during his time here in Chicago. I think the offensive line thing, though, is one of the biggest head scratchers. Just knowing Poles' background, knowing Ian Cunningham's background as assistant general manager, another former offensive lineman. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
That should be our bread and butter. That's our bread and butter right there. We know offensive line. Psych.
Again, I started the show out saying this, and I'm going to say it again. Like, the Bears beat down on the bad teams, but they continue to fail to meet the expectations against the good teams. And to me, that signals that we're still in develop mode. This is not a win now roster. We're not quite there yet. And it's unfortunate to say, but the way that they played yesterday, we're not going to win any of our division games. The way the NFC North is playing right now, we're not going to win any of our division games. We maybe might squeak one out because it's the NFL and crazy shit happens, like the Browns beating the Ravens. Crazy divisional games happen. And, things happen any given Sunday, right? But
yeah, it's wild.
Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, and Josh Dobbs. Those are the only road quarterbacks that Eberflus has beaten during his tenure. He's 0-16, Jack. He's 0-16 playing Sunday games on the road. I don't know what else to say that he's not the guy. Is Eberflus going to be a head coach in 2025? I'm asking you. He's your boy. Is he going to be a head coach in 2025?
If we don't make the playoffs, and that's it. I think the playoffs is the cutoff point. If you don't make the playoffs, you're out. If we make the playoffs, I'll say this. If we make the playoffs, I still think he needs to win the first round, the first game. And then they may give him another chance. But it's still one of those things. Do you know what? Actually, he has to make the playoffs because at that moment in time, Ben Johnson is on the market. And when I said this earlier on in the show, if you told me I have a chance at Ben Johnson, who could be that franchise-altering mind as a coach, or we stick with Flus, who the record shows is a nice guy. And he's got a great defense, but he can't get us over to the finish line. I'm taking Ben Johnson. And so, do you know what? I'm going to redact my statement. I am going to say Flus, and this isn't going to happen, Flus would have to get to the NFC Championship to stay in. That's my call. He will have to get to the NFC Championship to get to keep his job. Otherwise, Ben Johnson swoops in. That is a logical statement.
We keep referencing Ben Johnson, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's not like it's up to Detroit, but you're talking about a divisional coach coming over here to be a head coach. Like, you don't see that often. So we can say Ben Johnson's name all we want, but realistically, is that the goal? Will that happen? I don't know.
Would you take Lincoln Riley?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I mean, it's 2024. This is an offensive game. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with the Bears taking a step back in defense if that means that we have above average to, borderline elite quarterback play, something we've never seen in our lifetime. And judging off the decision we make at head coach next, there needs to be some type of chemistry with Caleb. Lincoln Riley immediately fits that bill. I know Cliff Kingsbury didn't work out as head coach for Arizona, but how he didn't get the offensive coordinator job, but Shane Waldron did, is perplexing. Like his chemistry already working with Caleb. Like Shane Waldron didn't work with Caleb. Sure, they were at the quarterback elite camp together. Cool. Like that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit when our offensive coordinator is handing the goddamn ball off to a backup offensive lineman.
Nothing against
when he doesn't know how to use our borderline all-pro tight end. We have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Romo Dunze. 15, by the way, honorable mention. 15 is a fucking playmaker. Why are we not getting him the ball in space?
Phenomenal.
Why are we not getting 15 the ball more? Every time 15 gets the ball, he does something good. Why are we not giving him the ball? Why is DeAndre Carter getting a crucial catch in a pivotal moment of the game? And
DJ was off. That was it.
And listen, there was a hell of a throw by Caleb. It was a sidearm throw. Better catch by Carter. I'm not taking anything away from DeAndre Carter. But why is he a focal point at that moment in the game? Make it make fucking sense. I'm sorry. This is the most heated. This is the most heated I have ever been on this podcast, and rightfully so. Rightfully
we were saying
so.
This. I know we're getting close to time, but this is something that me and you talked about, and we laughed about it. But the seriousness in this, how superstitious the Bears make us is.
Yeah. We need to talk about that. In the fourth quarter, I stood behind the couch. We had multiple guests here. I had my fiance's family here. I had a good friend of the show, Joe Bose, on my couch. And I stood behind the couch watching the game because I thought it brought us good juju. Every morning the Bears play on a Sunday, I'm always like, what do I wear today? Like, will it dictate the way the Bears play today? If I wear something that is offbeat, they're going to lose. Jack, you tell the folks, tell the audience what you did yesterday, what your superstition was yesterday. Absolutely bonkers.
First, I got to find this text that you sent me that morning because you said I'm scrolling through a lot right now. But what you said,
there's a lot to unpack.
I'm nervous. Hang on, I'm nervous. Today's a big fucking day. I get superstitious. Like, what if I wear the wrong thing?
I do.
But I'm with you. I wore my Bears jersey. In the fourth quarter, all right, this is what happened. No, it was beginning of the third quarter. The end of the third quarter when DeAndre Swift. So I'm watching the game. When I'm watching the game, I'm focused. We had guests over, the same thing. We had a family dinner, and I am not the greatest person to be around. I am watching the game. I don't care what's going on around me. I'm focused. My daughter, my 8-month-old, was crying on the floor, so I picked her up. I was like, good parent first. All right, here we go. So I picked her up. DeAndre Swift tears it down the line. In my mind, as a Chicago Bears fan, I'm like, I've just had that universal shift right there.
Whatever I just did is working. Continue to do it.
The entire fourth quarter, she cried in my arms. She obviously wanted something, and that my mother-in-law was like, Jack, I'll take her. My wife's like, Jack, give the baby to someone. I'm like, she's not going anywhere. She's not going anywhere.
She's good
she
juju.
Just caused DeAndre Swift to run 55-yard touchdown or whatever it was. Like, no, she's staying in my head. And I will say, I gave her up on the defensive plays because I didn't need her on the defensive plays. But every time there was an offensive play, I picked her up, and it fucking worked. I swear to you, this child is Chicago Jesus. I'm just letting you know. And that's where we are. That's where we are as Chicago fans, is we don't trust our team to do it on their own, and we've come to these stupid fucking things to think like this is what we need to get them over the line.
Right. So we need to find other elements to psych our mental, to literally psych our mental to a point where, hey, if I do this activity, if I wear a certain clothing item, if I do something a different way that I'm usually going to do it, maybe that'll dictate the game, and maybe that'll help my team win. Like that is what being a Bears fan does, man. Like it affects my mental, it affects my anxiety, it affects there's just so much to unpack, and I've been this way my whole life. Like it's never easy. It's never easy. Every Sunday I'm like, what do I wear today? Like if I wear the wrong thing, they're gonna lose. I wore this on that day, they won. Maybe I should wear it again. Like it's mental. It's insane. It's insane to think that I do that.
You go to a different country and say that, and they're just going to look at you going, yeah, you're not okay.
Yeah. You got a couple of screws loose there, buddy.
Stay away from him, children. He is not safe.
So as we wrap up the show and we, I guess, look ahead to Bears Cardinals Week 9 this upcoming Sunday, it's hard for me to even look ahead to the Cardinals in already a must-win game now.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a walk in the park by any means. I think a couple weeks ago we would have thought like, hey, the Bears got this game. It's the Cardinals. No. Kyler Murray just won his first back-to-back game since the 2021 season. He's got 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season. Nice little supporting cast. And James Conner, Trey McBride, who's I think one of the most underrated players in the whole league. He plays tight end for the Cardinals. Yep. And Marvin Harrison Jr. This is going to be a tougher game than people realize, and although it might be somewhat of a home game for the Bears traveling out to Arizona, all the snowbirds there will be so many Bears fans in that stadium in Glendale. This is a must-win, and Kyler Murray presents a lot of problems to the defense, so this will be a big one. But enough about the Cardinals, and I'm just going to wrap up the show here. Again, this one's gonna hurt. This one's gonna hurt for a couple days, and I know we're gonna have to flush it by midweek, but like feel this. It's okay to be pissed. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to scream and yell and blame the coaching staff and blame the personnel decisions and be mad all you want at Tyreek Stevenson for being an idiot, but like. This is just another typical game as a Bears fan to remind you that they're still the Bears. And this win now moment in time that we thought we had, I think really has brought us back down to earth. And until they win a big game, until they beat Green Bay, until they beat the Lions or the Vikings or the Niners on the road coming up. Because after these next 2 weeks, you got the Cardinals, you got the Patriots, shit gets real. The schedule gets real. We have the hardest remaining schedule out of any team in the league. Until the Bears rise up to the moment and meet that occasion, this team is not ready, folks. It's not ready. And we need to think about small-term goals like 18 and, like 18 success, his development, his growth. Like that's where we're going to have to shift if we come out flat and disinterested like we did yesterday. I'm tired of being outcoached. I'm tired of being outplayed in these games. Matt Eberflus has not performed well as head coach on the road. Is Kyler Murray going to get added to the list of wins with Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, and Josh Dobbs? I hope so. But he hasn't shown me that yet. So those are my closing statements. Jack, do you have anything else to say before we wrap up the show?
No, I think you've hit it on the head there. I'm tired of having to rely on superstition. I'm tired of giving my hopes up. I'm tired of mediocrity in an offensive line. Unfortunately, the Browns did win, so our Wyatt Teller dream is probably gone. Like, I don't think they're going to trade him.
Our Wyatt Teller, Zach Zinter dream. Is Zach Martin available? The Cowboys lost last night, but
they did. They could be in they could take Khalil Herbert. Oh wait, no, too late. They've already grabbed Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I forgot about that one. So, hey, we're here. We're Chicago. Let's be for a couple of days.
This one's going to hurt, guys. We're hurting with you. We're just as frustrated, pissed off, and upset with the game last night. Total fluke play. Never should have happened. And this was as much of a Bears loss as we can remember in recent time. So hopefully we get back on the winning track next week.
Yeah.
He's Jack Lomax. I'm John Presnowski. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Until next time, peace.